Wow, former UK heavyweight fighter has been in the ring with Anthony Joshua. He's been in there with both Klitschkos. He's been in there with Deontay Wilder, and he compares all of their powers. You won't believe what he has to say about Deontay Wilder. Stay tuned. Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I came across this. Shout out to thesun.co.uk. Link is in the description so you can read it verbatim. That's the source that conducted this interview. And there's a fighter from the UK. I believe he's from Sheffield. He's 6'8" tall, and his name is Richard Towers, former fighter, now retired in the heavyweight division. Obviously, if you're 6'8", I don't see you really fighting in any other division. But he's been in there with the who's who of the heavyweights, you know, of this modern era, I guess you could say, be it sparring or whatnot. He has one loss to Lucas Brown. He got TKO'd in that particular fight. And through his work and his sparring, he kind of compared the punching power of the guys he's been in with, and he had a lot of honest praise for Deontay Wilder. So I'm gonna get into a quote. He was once trained by Brendan Ingle, who trained, Kell Brook. And Towers says, quote, "I've sparred with every single heavyweight you could possibly think of apart from Joseph Parker." Joseph Parker might have been probably too new, when he was coming up to have been in there. And he says, quote, "And I know when it comes to power, Deontay Wilder is in a league of his own. Put it this way, he hits 4 times harder than Vitali Klitschko. He hits 5 times harder than Wladimir Klitschko. He hits 6 times harder than Anthony Joshua. And he hits 8 times harder than Tyson Fury." That's no disrespect to Tyson Fury, because I really appreciate him and what he does. We sparred on and off for 2 years, and he was great. But I have to be honest, this is the wrong fight to take right now. It really is. Tyson has just come back on the scene, and although he is a grafter, this isn't the ideal time for him to fight against Wilder. He is moving okay against easy opposition, but he has got a big body and a big head to move out of the way for 12 rounds against Wilder. That's no easy task. The law of averages tells us if you get into a fight, you are going to get hit. It's just a matter of time. And the thing Deontay Wilder has got accustomed to is hitting people. Worse than that, he just so happens to carry the type of power I've never felt from any other heavyweight. Deontay Wilder hit me with the right hand clean on the chin, and it most certainly didn't feel the same when Tyson Fury hit me, or Anthony Joshua hit me, or Povetkin hit me, or when Wladimir hit me. They all hit me, but not like that. It felt like a fully formed pedigree horse kicking me in the face. Also, Deontay Wilder is quicker than you think he is, more skilled than you think he is, and he has got that measure of when to hit you and how to hit you. Tyson is a big man. He can move around the ring, he can box, and he has tricks. But if Deontay Wilder hits him, it's as good as over. At some point, Wilder will catch him, and trust me, Deontay hits just as hard in the 10th round as he does in the first. Wow. Link in the description. Now, I'm loving this year. This is a great, what's the McDonald's slogan? I'm loving it. New media, Ego's Army, stand up. We having a great year. Once again, here's another classic example of something that I've been telling you guys. And you have old media who says the opposite just because they want to, based on no patterns, no facts. See, I'm in the gyms. I talk to fighters and stuff. And what he's telling me, and I might even put the clip at the end of this, is really no different than conversations I had with heavyweight Lenroy Thomas, right? I did an interview with Lenroy Thomas, and we spoke off the record. See, there's stuff you don't know that I know in boxing because it never makes it. Me and Lenroy, we were in like Whole Foods, and we had a whole conversation, and he was telling me about how it was when he was sparring with Povetkin. He has the same type of story as Towers does, where he's been in there with the likes of Anthony Joshua. He sparred with Povetkin. You know, he sparred with Deontay Wilder. He sparred with Luis King Kong Ortiz. You know, he had been in there with the best of the best. You got to look at it. The average man is not the size of these Goliath heavyweights. Like me, I'm a big dude, but I'm taller. Like if I go into a Subway, I'm taller than most people in any given time. Not all the time, but you know, 9 times out of 10, I'll be the tallest person in line somewhere. You know, things like that. So you got to understand, these sparring partners, you know, there's only a batch to choose from, you know, so you have to, these guys are recycled, you know, they'll be in one person's camp, then they'll be in Tony Yoka's camp, then they'll be in Wilder's camp, and then they'll be in Josh, you know, because they're good fighters, like Malik Scott and Bryant Jennings. Like Bryant Jennings worked with Derek Chisora, and then Bryant Jennings also will work with whoever, you know what I mean, AJ or something. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. And honestly, this is not surprising what Richard Towers is saying, because it's the same thing that Lenroy basically told me in an interview. He says, don't get me wrong, all these guys, Povetkin, Luis Ortiz, Joshua, they all hit. They all have punching power you have to be mindful of. But he said Wilder's power was something different. And now you see a big heavyweight, you know, and some people are going to look at his resume, oh, but he lost to Lucas Brown. Power is power, you know what I'm saying? He's a boxer. And another thing is, man, I don't even know where to begin. It's just, he's from the UK, so that's another thing. So why is he, it's apparent to me that he's not begrudged against UK fighters. He's from the UK. So why would he be saying this about Tyson Fury? Why would he be rating Wilder's power 6 times greater than Anthony Joshua's power if he didn't honestly believe it? You know, that doesn't make sense, because a lot of the radical Anthony Joshua fans, if you have any constructive criticism and they know you're from America, you're an American, that's the first line of defense. They say, oh, you bias ass Yanks, you know, you bloody Americans, you don't like UK fighters. But now here lies a UK fighter from Sheffield who's trained by Ingle, who sparred all these guys, including guys from the UK like Joshua and Tyson Fury, and he's telling you, man, Wilder hits 6 times harder than Anthony Joshua and 8 times harder than Tyson Fury. And realistically, in terms of this power scale, we can kind of see this. You know, like what he's saying is not really that shocking if you study boxing. He said Wilder hits 4 times harder than Vitali Klitschko, right? And then next he said 5 times harder than Wladimir Klitschko. So using his scale, he's saying Vitali Klitschko hits harder than Wladimir, which I think they both have power, but I think most people would agree that Vitali was the better, stronger Klitschko, you know? And then he still rated Anthony Joshua up there, you know? He's saying he hits 6 times harder than Joshua. So he is saying that Wladimir Klitschko hits harder than AJ. But you guys have to understand, some people are going to say, oh, but AJ knocked out Wladimir, so how is that true? You know, these guys, they're susceptible to being hurt. You know, he's just comparing their power. Like, okay, when I get hit flush by Wilder, when I got hit flush by Vitali and Wladimir and Joshua, this is the pain scale. You know, you go to the doctor and you say, oh, I have a pain in my ankle, I rolled my ankle or something's wrong. They touch it and like, how much does this hurt? You're like, oh, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much is it? Or 1 to 10? Oh, it's a 6, you know what I mean? And then what if I press right here? Ow, that's a 9. You know, that's what he's basically doing. He's telling you that Wilder's power is in a league of his own, and he has freakish power, which coincidentally, yet again, is what I've been telling you guys. I'm of the belief that Wilder is the biggest puncher in boxing right now. But let old media tell it. All they do is say what is wrong with Wilder, what they think the flaws are. But you have to understand, if it was so easy, it would have been done by now, you know? Luis Ortiz, definitely more technical, but he still was the one that touched canvas and got stopped. Wilder didn't even touch canvas, you know? So while they sit up here and try to fuel the propaganda machine and not put no respect on this man's name, right? And say, oh, if people like me are bringing this up, oh, you're just on Wilder's payroll and stupid shit. Why is this guy saying this? Why is Richard Tower saying this? Why is champions and like, you know, Lim Roy got the Commonwealth belt before he lost to Joyce. He said the same thing, you know? And it's just, it's very clear to me what's going on. He also said, I think one of the very telling statements he made, he said also, Deontay Wilder is quicker than you think he is and more skilled than you think he is. And he has got that measure of when to hit you and how to hit you. So why are the fighters saying, this is what I don't like about this new age of like everything being online. Everybody has an opinion and that's cool, but I'm talking about like fans will have an opinion and we don't even know your credentials. We don't know your stripes. We don't know what you know. We don't know your knowledge level. So basically, there's no accountability. Everyone just throws out an opinion, but we don't know how versed you are on the subject. So I would be more inclined to believe if someone's saying something so radical, like, oh, Wilder's, he's a chicken leg bitch and windmill Wilder, then I'm not gonna really believe that when you have people in the industry that have been in the ring with him and they're telling you what his power is feeling like and he's quicker and more skilled than you think and his jab is on point. David Haye just told you this. David Haye says, oh yeah, Wilder, he said I had to be locked in. I had to be switched on. And he's doing his eyes all bug-eyed and stuff. He's like, cause Wilder, at any given moment, I just had to be switched on. He said, you spar with other guys, you could be at a 7 or 8. He said, with Wilder, I had to be switched on. And he's looking like he saw a ghost and stuff. But let the fans say it, they're like, oh, hey, whip Wilder's ass, won't, in sparring. But then you have the man himself who's saying, man, Wilder, he's good. I favor him to beat Tyson Fury, you know? So at the end of the day, I feel like the truth always comes out. And the funny thing is, everybody downplays like Wilder. And if you say anything positive, they say you're a Wilder dick sucker. But why are the fighters saying it? Why are the fighters, if he's as weak as you got, 40 bums and that's all he knocks out is bums and whatever, then why are the fighters giving him props that have been in the ring with him? So again, I'm going to believe if somebody says, and it's a common message, you look at Isaac Chamberlain. He been in there with Joshua and he been in there with Wilder. And he said the same thing. He's like, man, Wilder could box more than you think. And his power is above Joshua. So why is it that the fighters, the people who have been in there are saying this? You know, so I don't really care what some random person on the internet, I don't even know who they are and what their expertise level is regarding this subject is. So I'm not saying people don't ever lie or stuff like that, but just read through the interview. Does it sound like he's lying? Like he said, I love Tyson Fury. I spent like 2 years with him. He's a great guy, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, I don't just listen to what people say, I also interpret it. What he's saying sounds pretty realistic. He says Wilder hits 6 times harder than Joshua and 8 times harder than Tyson Fury. So we look at Joshua and Tyson Fury fight, it's apparent that Joshua has more power. You know, that's why he increased the number, that the multiplier, when he talked about Wilder or Fury. He says Wilder hits 8 times harder than Fury, as opposed to 6 that he said for Joshua, because we know Joshua's hitting harder than Fury. Link in the description. You gotta do something, baby. It's looking real bad for old media. Everything y'all say gets cleared up, it gets proven wrong, and there's nowhere to run. And like I said, just look at the facts. Just lay out all the facts. They say Wilder 40 bums and all he does is fight bums and he's weak and he's gonna get get bang and all this stuff. That's what they're telling us. Yet all these people are saying Tyson Fury, oh no, he shouldn't take this fight right now. Oh no, Tyson Fury, he needs more tune-ups. He's making a mistake. So what happened? I thought Wilder was the bum, so he shouldn't be prepared for a guy like Tyson Fury, right? Let y'all tell it. Why is everyone saying, not everyone, but a lot of people are saying, man, I don't know, Tyson Fury, I give him props, but he's tripping because he's not ready for Wilder. But why do you need to be ready for someone that you've condemned and the fans are saying that he's a bum slayer and that's all he does is fight bums? So once again, this is more ammunition for Ego's army and more proof that they simply do not believe the tall tales in which they speak. Because if they did believe it, they wouldn't be saying, oh yeah, you know, even Eddie Hearn makes it like, oh, Parker, he's just so much technically better than Wilder, Then you ask him, oh, who you picking, Wilder or Fury? And he's like, oh yeah, you gotta go with Wilder. I'm gonna pick Wilder over Fury. So why is everyone all of a sudden picking Wilder over Fury, but they were downplaying Wilder and saying he was trash? Too easy. Ego's army, new media. We've been playing chess and they still playing checkers. At this point, I don't even know if they're playing checkers. It might be like Connect 4. One of the most simplistic games ever created. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. You've been in the camps with what heavyweights? You said Wilder.
Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Povetkin.
Oh, you were in Povetkin's camp too.
Malik Scott, Brian Jennings.
You said Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder, and the list goes on, man.
Wow, so you got some good work.
Exactly, so that's why I took since 2015, the years that I took off, I went back to college. The experience I didn't have in the amateurs, I gained it through sparring, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sparring great people, yeah.
Exactly.
So, though a lot of guys you named are within the top 5 or champions, I gotta ask you, who hit the hardest out of all? I mean, because they say Joshua has power, Wilder, Ortiz.
Power, but, you know, by far, I give the edge to Deontay. You know.
Really? You said by far? Okay.
Yes. But you know what I mean?
What was it about his power that felt, I mean, like you said, you can't sleep on anybody's power, but
right.
What was it about Wilder's that stood out even more?
Just something about the right hand. I mean, you know, and my job was not to get hit by the right hand, you know what I mean? And every camp I go to, I measure myself to see the level where I'm at with these top guys. So that was a great experience for me. And he was teaching me a lot, you know what I mean? We work really good together, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I would love to go back to camp with him and, you know, whatever I can learn from him or whatever, you know, because iron sharpens iron, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And that boosted me up to another level, you know what I mean?
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.